In my supervision work, I hear so many observations, brilliant observations being shared by coaches that don't make it to the client. And I'm like, but this is what a valuable thing to share. You've just saw something, a pattern or a theme, or you noticed how you got irritated or elated, or, there's things you observe. And when I say observe, it includes how I'm responding to something that the client says. It can be my stuff, relational stuff, or something that the client said about, relationships that they have with others, values, beliefs. But so much of what is being brought to me, I'm like, have you shared this with the client? Sometimes I'm a bit hesitant with asking that question because I don't want to suggest that this should be shared, but it just feels, I'm genuinely curious. How did they respond to what you just said? Because I find it so interesting and so valuable. And I reckon sometimes it can feel confronting. It can feel bold. It can feel anxiety provoking to share something that you think the client might find uncomfortable to hear. But that's our job. That's what makes coaching so valuable, is that we share things, we reflect things back, we observe things. Maybe we even have the capacity to see things that other people don't. Especially the higher you climb in the hierarchy of your family, your organization, your country, your politics, the higher up you are, the less people tell you what they think, and the less people challenge you, the less people feel bold enough to tell you something that they think you might find uncomfortable to hear. So that's why they say it gets lonely at the top, because, you don't know who's connecting you to you in a really real way. And coaches are that for you, hopefully, right? I would expect my coach to tell me things that I don't like to hear, because that's what they're observing. From a non-judgmental position, just, here's something I observed. I find that interesting, or confusing, or irritating, or, exciting. But we have so many blind spots. So it's really challenging someone and telling them something that they find uncomfortable to hear from a position of curiosity cannot really be a bad thing. So your client doesn't have to take the question or take the observation, especially if it's uncomfortable. They might have their defenses up. They probably just brush it away and move on. But it's been said, it's been heard. And if it's important, it'll definitely come back. And after 2-3 times, there's a pattern. And you can make a more grounded observation with maybe a bit more weight. If I notice something, I feel really uncomfortable in this person's presence. What a thing to share. I don't share that easily. But if I'm not usually uncomfortable in people's presence, and with this person I'm really curious about that, right? Because I'm sure other people feel uncomfortable in their presence too. It's not just me, but who would tell them? So my invitation is, within the contract of the coaching that is safe, non-judgmental, I'm on your side, I'm here to help. Within that contract, within that agreement, within that arrangement, within that relationship, you can say things that are really bold and uncomfortable, because it's going to help someone make sense of themselves, how they are, shift something, move things. That's the foundation for growth. And that's what makes coaching relationships so special. And not the only ones, but it makes them very special. I never forget my high school friend, Stefan, who we had a pact that we're going to tell each other things that are uncomfortable. And he told me that I spit when I talk. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh, thank you. I was really glad that I was aware of that and I could actually do something about it. And it was really uncomfortable to hear. So it made me a bit self-conscious, yes, for sure. But it was the foundation for growth and change, right? So thank you, Stefan, wherever you are. But you can be that. And within a coaching relationship, it's much safer to do, because you could just stop working with that coach and never see them again. You don't want to do that with your good friends.